Hi, I'm Lynn Brick. Welcome to this week's Fit Tip. You can learn more about yourself from these amazing creatures. What amazing creatures am I talking about? The incredible horse. Well, someone once said that there's just as much horse sense as ever, but horses seem to have the most of it. We're in the middle of a stable that's located here in Maryland, and you may have experienced riding a horse before. I've only done that twice in my life. You may have experienced communicating with horses before. I've never been able to do that before, but I do own a dog, and this dog actually, his name is Seuss. He's not my dog, but he seems to be smelling my dogs on my legs. Anyway, the wonderful experience of communicating with a horse is that you can learn so much in the way that you communicate. Here's why. You may have heard of the rule of communication. It's a 7-38-55 rule of communication. And when you break that down, it breaks down like this. 7% of what you communicate is merely the words you say. 38% is how you say those words. But a whopping 55% of whatever it is you communicate is through your body language. Well, Victor and I had the incredible opportunity to experience equine therapy when we were at the Gwingana Lifestyle Retreat in Australia a few weeks ago. And I want to share my story with you. Well, we walked up to the corral with a single horse. His name was Stevie, while the equine therapist was sitting there reviewing the experience with another client. So I was very smart, and I made eye contact with Stevie right away. And so did Victor, I think. After the therapist finished with that other client, and she proceeded to get in the corral with Stevie and then explain and demonstrate exactly what Victor and I were going to be doing in a few minutes. I couldn't believe it. She communicated with her body language what she wanted Stevie to do in the corral. Walk faster, walk slower, trot, align himself up with her body, and things such as that. Well, Victor had an opportunity to do it, and he did great. I was very impressed with the way he communicated with the horse, Stevie. Then it was my turn. And I was a little nervous because I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but I soon got the hang of it. First, I got Stevie to line himself up with my body language. And I did it simply by looking to the right or looking to the left so he would align his rear legs with me. Then, tethered, I basically helped to guide Stevie with a rope, and holding onto the rope, I guess such as this, like this, I helped to tether Stevie like this. And we would just walk around the corral slowly. And I helped to guide him by simply swinging the rope forward if he needed to move forward, or swimming, if he needed to move back, if he was trying to walk further ahead of me, or swing the rope behind me as if he needed to move forward. Just like the mother would do when she's teaching a baby, a pony, or a colt to walk beside her. So similar to that. So we practiced that several times, and then I lost the tether, or lost the rope, and I did the exact same thing without him being tethered. And then the grand finale is where I held onto a stick, I'm not even sure the name of the stick, and just held it down to the ground and raised my arm up. And with my energy, I simply got Stevie to walk around the perimeter of the corral. And if I raised my energy, Stevie went faster. If I lowered my energy, Stevie slowed down. And that was one of the cues that our horse therapist told us. Now raise your energy, not with your body language, because I'm used to teaching fitness classes and I'm used to being large and in charge with my body language. But she said, just raise it with your breath. Raise your energy with your breath. Lower your energy with your breath. Because if I raise it too much, it might frighten Stevie. So I just had to raise it just enough so Stevie could understand what I was trying to communicate. What an incredible experience. So the biggest aha that I learned from that horse or equine therapy experience was that it doesn't matter if you're communicating with your family, your coworkers, or your business associates. How you communicate your energy is the best way to communicate. It's that whopping 55%, that body language, through your energy or your breath, that helps people to understand exactly where you're coming from. Here's a PS. One of the greatest ways that Stevie, our horse that we worked with during the equine therapy, communicated back with us is that he would stick out his tongue when he approved of what we were doing and kind of lick his lips. He would drop his head down and be very submissive. And then the last thing that I had the wonderful experience was that Stevie came over and actually kissed me on the head. I was so honored to have such a short period of time with this amazing creature where I learned so much about myself. So if you like this fit tip, please feel free to pass it on to a friend, family member, or coworker. If you'd like to see the text version or any of my past fit tips, please feel free to log on to lynnbriggs.com. And I'd love to get feedback from you. If you enjoyed this tip or have any comments or suggestions about future tips, please feel free to comment on my blog, Blogging with Lynn. That's blogging with LYNNE.com. And I'd like to close each one of my tips with a thought for the day. And the thought for the day is this. Sharon Rawls Lemon once said, "The essential joy of being with horses is that it brings us in contact with rare elements of grace, beauty, spirit, and fire." Until we meet again, you go, girl!